What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 14 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Khatep Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, the Crone has joined the fold as Harganeth has been vassalized and the Elven Civil Wars have by and large come to an end. In addition to that, between the episodes I desired to complete the whole vassalization and did the old switcheroo thing with the territories belonging to Ivres. They now have the Lothern and are also one of our vassals. We'll be slowly transferring them the other territories on the donut, with the exception of the library, the White Tower of Hoeth, which we will keep for ourselves. Partly because that's where we found our book, and partly because I feel like we should have at least some presence on the donut to sort of overlook it / administer our vassals. Anyway, in terms of what we got to do this time, we are heading towards Kuhan and the 5th out of 8 books there, and the last book sort of in this portion of the world. After we're done there, we can head down towards Lizard Town and deal with them there, and then take the long journey to begin the migration back to our goal at Nehekara, or in Nehekara. We've also got a lot of our armies up in the north right now, almost all of them in fact, and are trying to knock out the threats that are up here. I just want to essentially shore up the defenses up north in the Chaos Wastes so that we don't have to constantly watch these territories. We'll be giving a lot of territory to Harganeth, but I suppose we also want to be careful about giving them too much. But anyway, we shall see. Let's see what we got to do this time. Ooh, actually, wait, before we get started. Now, obviously, there's been a few days since the last episode. A couple of reasons for that. The Wolford campaign started, and it's pretty normal when a new campaign starts for all the others to take a back seat. The second issue, unfortunately, we didn't reach the engagement threshold for this one, and it also did worse than the Imric campaign, despite the Imric campaign being like twice as old as it. So, in theory, this should be a sort of a short standard episode, about a half an hour, but since we skipped a few days, we'll probably do it like a couple of episodes, a couple half an hour shorter episodes in one episode. I never really decided whether it would be better to do, you know, like a half an hour episode every day, or whether to do like a single longer episode every other day or every other day or something like that. Mostly because I haven't really looked into it, what would be the better thing for the channel. But anyway, that's what we're doing right now for this particular episode, and because I can't make a decision next time, we will see. Anyway, let's get started. Admor, now you, I think we wanted to head out to Misnar because we want to get your army fixed up. We still need a bunch of carrion in this army because you're the Falconer, and need to lean into that. Plus, we want to replace these guys with Tomb Guard as we need something to hold the line. Although, oh wow, huh. That's kind of impressive, actually. The Nehekara warriors are... Huh. Their melee defense is considerably lower, but they have nearly as much armor as the Tomb Guard do. Granted, they're unshielded, but about the same. Is it the same amount of HP as well? They actually have slightly more HP because they have more models in there. I guess they're surprisingly tanky, or at least more tanky than I would have expected. But nonetheless, we need the shielded Tomb Guard to act as the anvil for the Eagles here. Let's see what else we've got in terms of... Oh, wait, I haven't actually moved you, sir. I guess we could chase this guy down, but do we really care? He's got like 5 units. Is he really going to be any kind of threat? I don't think so. Go to Misnar. And we won't be able to reach it, but we should be able to global recruit there. Yeah, it'll probably take like 5 turns to do it, but it's a lot faster than moving elsewhere. We will also be trading this to the elves, so we don't really need to do anything with it. Now, there was an army we were keeping track of with Hetekor. Hetekor... wasn't there? I think there was an army out here. Or was that this army? Okay, maybe it was that army. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. The rest of that is good. Nektomhat can continue scouting, and just to double check the building, we need to replace the Sushabti building with a Tomb Guard building because we deleted the last of our tier 3s. For good reason, mind you, but nonetheless, we'll still need to deal with it. All right, you two will need to hunt down Uzul, though I do fear that you are going to take attrition, but there's not much choice in that. Do we want to give you a route marcher? Perhaps we do. You already have the Skullstorm, and the Route Marcher will allow you to hopefully catch him a little bit faster. Alright, rest of that looks good. Building upgrade available, commandment available in Trilinia. I mean, I guess we could, just temporarily, before we trade it away. You also have the Crypt Barracks, so I suppose we could recruit there as well, but it's probably better to go here. We also should take a look at Bordeleaux and maybe capturing it and then transferring it to Lewin. If we could just occupy Couronne, trade it back for peace, then trade them Bordeleaux, we might be able to vassalize Bretonnia as well, just because. I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it's certainly an option. Anyway, hero not moved, outpost upgrade available. Which outpost? Well, actually, we probably shouldn't, because our money isn't to the point that we want to. Alright, let's end the turn. Let's end the turn. Alright. I think one interesting thing is that the vampire counts have more aversion to us than the human mortals do. Like, the Empire and Bretonnia have less of the aversion debuff to us than other undead do, which is interesting. But I suppose that the Tomb Kings want to be mortal and kind of, a lot of them kind of act like they still are. So it kind of makes sense. But anyway, peace treaty payments... Valkia, why? No. That's not gonna happen. You just lost your capital. Why would we now peace out with you? What could you possibly offer us? The tiny, tiny amount of gold wherein we don't even really care about money anymore? Okay. Defeat the following lord in battle. Crom Balaxus. I don't remember who you are. Some guy sitting at Conquata will probably have to grab Conquata as well. Ooh, hello. Got some armies out here. Egrim, Spite Taker, and Leif Gulbranson. Can you reach either of those? Oh man, I was gonna have you... I was gonna have you land in Misnar and recruit. We could send you back to kill off this guy, though. What are the odds he runs away? I wish I knew what was in his army. Oh, I should probably strike at him, but anyway, let's see. Alright, so there's nobody here now, and we should also trade these territories. I mean, I guess we could do it after. And, Grom the Paunch. Oh, I don't like that. You're at war with these guys. Ah, man. Okay, you know what? I changed my mind slightly. Khatep, you are gonna go down here and kill off Gromi and take Bordeleaux. I was thinking about taking Bordeleaux anyway, so that's fine, I guess. We'll get back to Kuhan after. Stop distracting us. And this is, I guess, another reason why we may want to take a Bretonnia as a vassal, or somebody here as a vassal. Even Kemmler, I don't really care. Although, oh wow, Kemmler hates us. Yeah, that's... Well, actually, the other elves don't seem to hate Kemmler that much. He just doesn't like them. Go figure. Huh. Minus 73 from gifts given to Ivres, but if they become friends, then that will disappear. Because if somebody holds this coast, then we won't have to worry about our elven minions dealing with it. Certainly potential. Anyway, let's get into a battle, or at least try. King Anwar, you're going to have to forego recruiting for a turn or two at least. Go for Egrim, and possibly get attacked by Leif Gulbranson afterwards. Oh, he's gonna run. I didn't see that he had a bunch of Chaos Warhounds. Shouldn't have bothered, I guess. But there was no way to know. You know what I should have done? I should have kept Hetekor out here, specifically to, yeah, keep an eye on these armies. And they'll both probably run from you, and I guess move closer slightly to Elysia. I don't think these guys can take Elysia, but I'm also not entirely sure what they will do, or well, where they will go based off of this. Alright, Rehobi. You are continuing to head up north, so please do so. And I forgot what the other guy's name was. King Entef. But you're gonna be... I mean, you're not gonna be on the field because we're gonna replace you with the... with one of these dynasty kings shortly. All of you are marching up here. And let us move Ramaranef towards Uzul Death Metal. It's a likelihood that you could take Harkaldra. Oh, fairly high, I'd say. Alright, you know what? Maybe we'll use you to take Glacier Encampment, so go here. But King Roprafos isn't hurt, so we can move him out in march stance all the way to the edge here. Marinef, I assume you can take this, right? Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. Alright, and we'll leave Dagrax End as it currently is. What we may also want to do, in case we need to chase, is pop the commandment of Worship of Tra here for the campaign movement range increase, while we chase down Uzul. And oh, he'll actually have to either raise or occupy or sack Harkaldra to run away from us, because he's nowhere to go except, I guess, over here. We'll see what he does afterwards. Alright, who else do we got here? We have Meshep, who is supposed to join one of these armies, but there's no room for it, which I guess means we gotta switch to building. Alright. I actually really enjoy the building for the Tomb Kings. So anyway, you ancient city of Quintex. Now, okay, here's a question. We'll build a crumbling temple. We, I guess, do need to build a Fated Pyramidion here as well. Then we will need to build you a first lone column for that additional growth. If we could get, like, I don't know, like 50 of these buildings and everywhere, that'll be just such a ludicrous amount of bonus growth to all provinces, because at tier 3 it's +3, so 150 growth faction-wide. It'll enable our new territories to max themselves out real quick. Anyway, Khatep we can ignore, because we'll be trading at Valzandal, same with you. Galleon's Graveyard, same with you. Elysia, same with you. Okay, just whatever. Iron Spike, you have another Pyramidion, we have another one here, so we'll go a 1 and a 2, and then we'll immediately build the, oh, I just realized I should have probably been checking the commandments. Your commandment is actually fine. What about here? Well, we need to switch it, I mean, we probably will for when we get the Ancient City of Quintex down to tier 4, but that'll be in 4 turns, so I think for now we're fine. Yeah, alright. Ashen Coast is good, just keep on building. We've got Altar of Ultimate Darkness. Ooh, well, you're in the right commandment, so we're fine here. And start building those, I guess, Pyramidions. Yeah, go for it, why not? Just try not to die. Keep the growth building for now, but get rid of the Sepulchre, and then we'll do the same thing here afterwards. I mean, I guess we could do it right now. We're at +9 growth anyway, so it's not going to impact it in any way. Iron Foothills, Nagarond, I mean, I still haven't decided whether to keep you, but frankly, we probably should just start building you up. Especially while we have Great Incantation of Geheb to reduce the construction time. Although, wait, I suppose we're switching Worship of Tra, so that should also mean we should do it right now. Alright, Iron Mountains, you are fine as you are. The growth will allow you to build, but only to tier 2, which means we're just going to ignore you. Ice Rock Gorge, I did just talk about getting another thing of a Royal Barracks here, just so that we have access to Tomb Guard with great weapons, or not great, I wish, with halberds. Mortuary Sanctum, and then into Marble Monolith. Good. Whether the public order here is negative now, I don't think we can do anything about it. Clarkarond. Storag Core is about to be completed, and you are in Worship of Tra for the additional growth as we are trying to get to this thing. We will also want to build more Pyramidions here, but probably after the Mausoleum and stuff. Alright, you know what, well, I don't actually want to lose public order too much. You know, you're going to switch to Worship of SF for a few turns, even despite ignoring the expense. Anyway, let's get to you a Fated Pyramidion next turn, but for now ignore you. Clark Spire, Plane of Spiders, go for the Crumbling Temple, and then start on the growth building, growth and research, mind you, not just growth, and the Golden Age Monument, and yeah, we're using money now, so all of these sort of ancient architecture buildings are costing cash. And here I thought we had no longer need of any cash. I guess we will for a little while longer. Hopefully not too long. Safari, oh my, okay, we won't be able to afford to build everything here, will we? Let's build a Pyramidion here. And then we will upgrade the port. Can't have too many ports. And then get our growth building there. And then we won't be able to afford anything else anywhere else. Grand. Oh. Actually, I guess we could do like the temporary cheap buildings like these. We could build 3 of them. You know what? Let's public order this place up until max, so that the place is growing a little bit better. Maybe I should have built a few more cheap buildings, but oh well. We'll deal with it as we get more money, hopefully. Now, I believe we're ready to go for another end turn and hopefully find ourselves a battle. These guys will probably run for Manwar, but would we be able to reach Bordeleaux? We might. Considering this is March stance, we can go right past it. Hopefully Grommy stays there, gives us a big battle. Building upgrade available, ignored. Kiro not moved, end turn. I didn't even realize Mashep was still moving. Alright, and oh right, we'll be able to fight a Glacier encampment as well, which is just fine by me. You better not run on this, Welch. Alright, Reichland, I'm still undecided on whether we try to vassalize Reichland or try to vassalize Vlad. Once again, Vlad hates us a lot more than Reichland does, and because of the aversion. But he does have access to Mortis engines and corpse carts, which would be great for pretty much any of our infantry full armies. Shakara's ended our non-aggression pact, so we should expect to send an attack from her, but, well, probably a bad idea on her part anyway. And Uzul has moved up to Harkaldra. He has not... or did he sack it? Or was this always like that in terms of terrible garrison? I don't know. Actually, out of curiosity, Harkaldra, minus 7.8. Alright, I think what we're going to do, Roprafos. So we can attack him, but he'll run. So what we're going to do with you instead is we're going to pop you into ambush. And pop you, or in Tomb Beneath the Sands, actually. And pop you right here. And then we'll see what he does. If he tries to run from us, or if he just... I mean, he's stuck here anyway. He can't do anything. Since Welch is running... Okay. I guess you've no choice but to hit the Glacier Encampment. I assume this guy's gonna go for Iron Frost. Hopefully he doesn't march down to Eldar Spire right after. I'll resolve this for obvious reasons. And, ooh, I wanted to check another thing. Oh, wow, what the heck? Leave the Tomb Scorpion alone. I mean, damn. They've already gotten hurt. Yeah, so we can summon the Green Skulls in one turn now, so we can start rebuilding them. Let's delete you, Spear Guy. Get a Green Skull in here. Was this an update? I don't remember these guys being one turn. Yeah, this is Bright Shields are one turn. It's great. And this is before we get the Heralds Empowered, which will reduce our global recruitment capacity. I gotta get those Tomb Barks. They make me excited. Alright, that's one. We just need to increase the global recruitment capacity as well. Hold on to the Charnel Plaza here so that we can move further. Alright, now. King Anwar. You're close to Shakara. Oh, actually, ooh. These two armies are together. Anwar, I got a fight for you. A big old proper fight, in fact. Knock them both out at the same time. Wait, go to diplomacy. Wait, I want to see if there was an ally mission. Okay, there isn't. We're good. Alright, Pyrrhic victory, that's a lot of Norskins, and, well, there's a lot of hounds in Bellacor's army, but that's fine by me. Gotta watch out for those marauder hunters with the javelins against our Scorpion and against our Eagles. For those watching the Wolford campaign, you know how much of a healthy respect I have for those units. Away we go. Alrighty, here we go. I am not entirely sure that this army can handle 2 stacks, but, well, it's done good work before, so we'll certainly give it a try. Anyway, we're gonna start the battle off with a little bit of good old-fashioned skirmishing, as we head towards the high ground and the sort of defensible location with the impassable terrain on the right. Big old Dark Elven brazier burning, but that's just fine by us now that we have a Dark Elven vassal. Should get a little bit more used to their magics. Anyway, the enemy will head directly towards us and will attempt to flank us with a big old pile of doggos and chariots on the rightmost flank, but that's what our Eagles and our Carrion are for, and they should be able to rip all said doggos and chariots apart without too much trouble. Damn, the Hounds of Pestilence or Decay, I always forget which one it is, look pretty darn big. Eagles have caught the doggos and they've caught the chariots who are attempting to escape. The chariot riders do have halberds, but, well, we'll see what they can do with them. And the main enemy line has arrived, facing off against our Tomb Guard and the Hekara warriors, including some trolls out here, which we'll need to be a little bit careful with. The enemy lord, the enemy chaos sorcerer, has gotten a few hits from King Rakash and from the Tomb Prince there, but has backed off and tried to attack something that perhaps is not as threatening. We got our Skullstorm on the way here, just hoping that it doesn't move up towards our Nehekara warriors, while the enemy right flank of flankers is pretty much much already destroyed by virtue of the Eagles and the Carrion. Once again, we just really need this army to have a few turns of free space to re-recruit or to retrofit itself and get what it needs up and running. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get a nice flank and maneuver going as soon as that, or perhaps even before that Skull Storm ends, smashing it. Oh wow, the Chariot had enough mass to push a troll over. I'm gonna smash into the enemy lines. The Skull Storm will end and the Chariots will push on through. We also have the free summon units of Skeletal Warriors, which will hopefully bring up that Realm of Souls. But once again, we've essentially been playing this campaign without really relying on the Realm of Souls. It's just too hard to activate. I don't know. I'm not sure I like that. I think that it needs some tweaks. And yeah, certainly you're supposed to maybe get 2 armies running around, but it feels weird for Tomb Kings to do that, especially since, unlike other factions, Tomb Kings are very limited in the number of armies that they can tote around. We need our armies everywhere because we need to protect the borders. And having 2 armies in the same location just so that the second army can bring a bunch of garbage troops just to send at the enemy to die, it seems kind of counterintuitive, and I'm not so sure it's the way to go. Anyway, here, speaking of the Realm of Souls, the only real way to activate it is those summons from our mages. So they've summoned, then they've disappeared because they ran out of time, and they're on a very short timer compared to normal summons, and we got our first Realm of Souls. Fortunately, the first of the enemy army is destroyed, so this activation means we will be able to heal up a little before the second army arrives, though they have made it on the field and are booking their way towards us. We are going to have to regroup for this, and we're going to send our Skeleton Horse Archers and our Chariots back through our lines so that they don't get hit directly, while our Eagles and our Carrion continue chasing around whatever enemy units they can, and just to prevent them from rallying. We don't actually care about destroying the units belonging to, I forgot his name, but the leader of the Bellicor force, the Shadow Legion force, because they're already in march stance and will be destroyed anyway. But we do care about the forces of the second army, as the Hand of Vanaheimlings were not in march stance, and we will want to fully destroy them. Damn, this Chaos Spawn has taken hit after hit from those arrows and just not really caring about it. It does have regeneration, after all. Anyway, looks like the next enemy lord arrives and will get hit by our Tomb Prince and Tomb King. The halberds should be pretty darn decent against a steed-riding enemy lord, and he's down to half HP already. We're going to get a little bit of area denial going while these two take care of the enemy lord, activating a Skull Storm to prevent the enemy from rushing us, and it does look like the enemy lord will book it on out of there with about a quarter of his HP remaining. Maybe 10% of his HP remaining. Can we catch him, or will the press of enemies stop us? By the looks of it, it'll stop us, but oh well, what can you do? Skull Storm is in their way, and we still hold the high ground quite well. The Chariots are moving back into the fray, are rushing through the enemy Marauder Hunters with the javelins and axes. Certainly don't want those guys firing off their extremely high damaging range weapons. Or chucking them. Firing off may not be quite correct. Alright, decent work from the Chariots. For some reason the battle went quiet there for a second. It felt a little bit weird. Activated quick purple Son of Zaraeus through the enemy line, and in fact, it, by the looks of it, and did decent damage. The Eagles have made their way back into the fray as well. Unfortunately, our Carrion are just sort of flying around, chasing enemy units that are routing to prevent them from coming back, while the rest of the enemy army gets destroyed. And destroyed it will be as the balance of power shifts to about 90% in the enemy, or in our favor, and the enemy army gets completely surrounded by our fast movers and birds, and with that, the battle is ours. Alright, that actually worked out both quicker and better than I was expecting. While we took a little bit of damage on our main line, it really wasn't all that, wasn't all that much. But yeah, as I was saying, I do think that the Realm of Souls does need tweaking, so that you can actually use it. And the thing is, it's not like the Realm of Souls is, like, the most ridiculously strong buff anyway. I mean, the sort of constant healing that you get from the Allure of Vampires by comparison is probably more than the Realm of Souls, especially since you can target it at specific units when you need it, whereas this is tied to activations. Maybe every single enemy, every single sort of Tomb King Lord and hero, every single one should be given the option to devote to whatever that allows them to summon a unit of skeletal warriors, just like the Lich Priests have. If the Tomb Lords and Tomb Princes and Necrotechs all have that ability, it would allow you to go through the Realm of Souls and get the extra units, which would be nice. And especially if you keep them on this sort of really, really tiny timer that causes them to disappear in the, like, 60 seconds since they get summoned, you barely get any use out of them whatsoever anyway. And thus, having everybody have that really wouldn't be all that overpowered. Anyway, Battle's Hours, well done once again to Anwar the Falconer. Ooh, alright, very, very nice work from the Falconer here. Anwar is, well, he's achieving a lot more than I thought he was with the sort of smattering of random units that he had, but now he's got a theme, and the theme has made him stronger. Our Lich Priest of Nehek did plenty of damage with that Skull Storm, which we are so reliant on. Of course, the Usirian's Legion of the Netherworld always clean house, so that's hardly surprising, and the same with the Eagles as well. Though, due to the nature of the enemy armies, since there were so many, we had to use the Carrion primarily to chase enemies, rather than to do damage. Chariots, 30k damage and 26k damage, solid. And I don't know, these guys are high rank now, so we should probably try to trade them to a different army rather than just to simply delete them. As for what we're going to take here, we have been using a lot of money lately, and I feel like because of that we need to take the money, even though I would prefer the jars, but anyway. Endless March. Alright, okay, the zoom out freaked me out a little bit. But we can see if there's an army at Kuran. I'm kind of wondering whether we should send King Anwar to take Kuran instead. Although, I mean, we don't have to declare war on Kuran until Khatep gets there, and I really would like to retrofit him a little bit. Oh, I also noticed that he is healing, and that should have... Didn't we have a Tomb Fleet Taskmaster? Did we not have a mission to kill this guy? Maybe we didn't. Do you have a Tomb Fleet Taskmaster? Yes, you do. Alright, well, the rest of that is fine. I gotta double check whether there's new missions, but alas, there is not. We should build the next variants of the outposts as well. But I guess we want to wait until, well, we see how much money we have remaining at the end of the turn. Alright, Rehobi, and all of you guys up here. First of all, I guess you're going up this way. This guy really has nowhere to run now. Yeah, I guess you're gonna have to suffer attrition for a turn. It's only one turn, it's not a big deal. I really wish you had plus at least one more global recruitment. The one is really not doing it for me. At least we're gonna slowly be able to get our green skulls back, but it's still less than I'd like. Who else still needs to move? King and Tuff with the ferrying of all these units. Keep on ferrying, sir. Hetakor, you are our scout, our endless ever scout, and oh, guys here. Anyway, stick around here. In fact, no, just sort of hover around Conquata. We need to see what these armies are doing before we take it for ourselves. Oh. That actually makes me think, if we want to grab Conquata for ourselves and possibly hold it, and looks like, looks like Avalorn is moving out there. What's the likelihood that they can conquer the main settlement, though? I don't really care about the Isle of Wights or the Citadel of Lead, though I suppose the AI won't be able to hold them very well either, but maybe they'd actually be able to do so better than us. I don't know, depends on what kind of garrison happens there. Anyway, Khatep, you, I believe, are next on the field, but I guess we build first and ask questions later. Titan Peaks, still in positive, so we don't need to uncollect income as yet, but the time will come. Crumbling Temple for you, please, and... we still got 2 more turns of Crumbling Temple, so we don't need to delete anything here, like those public order buildings, which we're getting very much good use out of. Calidor, we'll probably do some... oh, you know what, let's do some swapping right now. Trelinia probably isn't super useful to us, Elysia isn't super useful to us, so I think we'll give you Elysia right now. See how much money you're gonna be willing to give us. Oh! You've used all your money on stuff. Okay, we can maybe wait. Until you can afford it. And Trilinia, what about you?
State your case quickly, for countless Asur lives.
4.5, a lot better. Can we get you to do anything? Well, I guess you're already at war with all the factions that we're at war with. We can't really. And there's nothing I want to trade away from you. Hopefully, Yvres will get rich by virtue of owning Tor Yvres and Lothern, and later Tor Corrali, which, as I recall, has a very nice landmark for the High Elves. Go for it, Trilinia. Alright, very nice. And I guess we'll wait on these guys. Hopefully we can do the same thing with Harga now, just give them a bunch of territories and have them fund us without us having to... Oh, wow, they don't like something. Oh, they don't like us giving gifts, but... Yeah, we should, in theory, still be able to solve this issue, as in, if we just force them to declare war on a bunch of factions, and the rest of our vassals to declare war on a bunch of factions, they will eventually like each other. I've solved this problem before in my Vlad campaign, where we vassalized, like, every faction on the map, so, yeah. Or at the very least, every major Order-Tide faction, and some not-so-Order-Tide. Anyway, what else do we have? Volzanvil, no, we're not investing in you, Ashen Coast. Yes to this thing. Marble monolith, and yes to this thing, another marble monolith. And I believe now we need to get rid of a public order building, I guess. And then the growth thing next turn, eh? Bit of a shame, but nothing we can do about it. Alright, and... yeah, your growth is getting there. 437. We'll be tier 5 before we know it. Next up, Altar of Ultimate Darkness. I don't know why you're next in the order, but that's fine. Mortiferous Sanctuary, definitely whatever the growth building is called. Then another growth building here. Lone Column, and then we'll build another Fated Pyramidion here right after. Keep the extra growth buildings, however. I'm not going to invest in upgrading them because we'll be deleting them eventually, but for now they're good. And this thing will need to be replaced, but only when you're tier 4, I take... Oh, actually, wait. And we can actually build the burial pits at tier 3, meaning in 3 turns we can get rid of it. Alright, you know what? Yeah, keep the public order and then we'll get rid of it after. Anyway, let's keep doing this in order, if we can. Nagarond, you're fine. Iron Mountains, I guess we could upgrade you. There was a reason I wanted this territory, so why not? Iron Sand Desert, definitely go for the Crypt Barracks until it's tier 3 and max out the Golden Age Monument as well. One more turn we'll be able to switch you back to... we have to switch you back to Public Order now. No choice, because it'll drop below where it needs... Well, actually, it's at 81, it will drop at 75, so we're actually fine, I lied. Clarkarond, you, I believe, need a Mortiferous Sanctuary, or Fated Pyramidion, rather. And that's what we're gonna do. Then, we'll need another one here at Storag Core, but we can't get it right now, we don't want to invest in these. Your public order is actually looking pretty good. I guess for one turn we will switch to Worship of Construction Reduction. It's like real life. Anyway, we have another... Oh man, we're running out of cash again. We're still not going to be able to do the last things on the list, but oh well. It's what we get for not collecting the income everywhere, but I think the growth is more valuable at this time. And Marble Monolith here, and this place is near complete, and we'll soon be able to go back into Worship of Asaph, and under Worship of Asaph, perhaps collect money as well. Just one more turn. Safari. We're not investing in you. These need to be upgraded, but we can't afford to do so right now, unless... maybe we can. We'll see if Khatep gets us some cash for fighting Grommy. Obelisk here for the public order. I just want the public order maxed out so that the populace is inspired. And the rest of this is fine. Hag Grief. You know, maybe we should leave these last ones until we... Yeah, you know what? Let's fight with Khatep and then we'll see. I do expect him, if he can land here at Bordeleaux, to get a big old fight. What do we have here? Basically a full garrison plus Grammy's full army, yes. And Khatep's still... Alright, he's still down 2 troops. I should really... I should really fix that. As for his mount... I mean, for a settlement battle, he should probably stay on the casket. If we have to move into melee, we'll move him into melee. As needed. For now, let's do it. Alright, Khatep, I know you really want them all sacrificed. Here we go. Been a little bit of a while since it's felt like anything's threatened Khatep's army, and that is with his army not at full stack levels, but, well, not a big deal, I hope. This particular settlement does have 2 stacks, plus Grommy, plus a decent amount of elite units, like I think 3 or 4 units on Black Orcs in there, so who knows? Maybe they'll give us something of a show. Caskets are firing away, expelling those souls and leaving ectoplasm all over the place as they strike. We are going to bombard the enemy tower, and by doing so hope to destroy any enemy units that are near it. That said, this first tower is already nearly destroyed, and by the looks of it, will get brought down by the Screaming Skull catapults while the caskets can focus other things. I like the walls, but not really the walls. We are only shooting the walls to destroy enemy units that are up above them. Anyway, we've seen many a bombardment before and already, and I think we'll just speed through this aspect, otherwise it's going to take absolute ages. Plus, we have lots and lots of ammunition on the caskets, and so we don't want to waste, like, I don't know how long it's going to take, but a while. We can't see how much damage they do up on top of the walls, however. It looks like attacking the walls isn't quite as effective as attacking the towers because of the hitbox of the tower, I guess, being higher up than the walls. The arc is less shallow on the caskets, and thus enables them to hit the walls harder, but that's alright. We can switch targets and hit the enemies on the walls directly a few times, or maybe even enemy units behind the walls, and the inaccuracy of our units will allow for them to destroy a few extra units. Man, my PC really doesn't like it when I speed it up to max, but, well, what can you do? Anyway, bombardment, if not quite over, is getting there. We're also trying to knock some holes in this particular wall A to breach and allow our units to move in, but also so that we can try to knock this Black Orc big boss off it, and thereby instantly kill him, which, by the looks of it, we should be able to do. Couple more hits into the wall with that Screaming Skull catapult, or there we go. Down goes the hero and the units that were guarding him as well. One more tower to quickly bring down, which cannot attack us because we outrange it fairly significantly. And then we can start heading on into the city and actually getting the fight started. Oh, huh. Docked siege wall, range plus 20%. Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. Cool. Is that part of the wall? Yeah, it does look like part of the wall. Very nice. I'm gonna look into that more. Anyway, a few more hits onto those poor units of Orc Biggins that foolishly stayed around on the wall. I don't know what they thought was going to happen, considering what happened to everybody else that was up here. But I think the rest of us can probably guess. Anyway, time to start moving forward at last with no enemy towers to command the approach to the settlement. And oh wow, look at the frame drops and the units all milling around, but sort of in jerky movements. Alright, but that's once again only because of the fast forward. Once we get into the actual settlement, that shouldn't be the case. And there we go, we'll start with the Iron Sand Striders moving on in. And damn, the Black Orcs make those guys look absolutely tiny by comparison, but hey, at least the Gobos make it a little bit more even. Here comes some Stone Trolls, however, absolutely towering over our Tomb Guard, but not to worry, we can tower over them as well as soon as we send the Sphinx of Usek in. Or whatever we decide to rename this thing to. Anyway, there we go, wading on in and going for those Stone Trolls, exactly what this thing is great at. And here comes some Necro Serpents, the Venom Knights of SF, to join the fray as well. And there we go, and it looks like the poor Gobos had a pretty bad day. The Night Gobos are pretty much destroyed. The Stone Trolls are still holding, but we'll see in just for how long. Out here, the bombardment continues. We do have these summons coming down, so Skeletal Warriors appear and block the enemy off, and we can hit our own summoned Skeletal Warriors with spells, as well as the enemy, especially since they'll be gone very shortly. Plus, our own Skeletal Warriors will thus serve to block off our own units and not allow them to reach the dangerous area of those Skull Storms. Very nice. Alright, some nice charging going from the Venom Knights of Asaf here, or these are just the regular Necropolis Knights, but whatever. Ooh, gotta be careful with those caskets as well. Sphinx of Usek has peeled away to join the Knights, while the slower Tomb Guard are still sort of milling around back there. Lots of effects coming down. Fate of Biuna on the Black Orcs here, who are down to about 20% HP. We've also separated another contingent of units led by the Eyes of the Desert, Sepulchral Stalkers. As we needed somebody to help the Tomb Guard against the enemy trolls here. And they can still fire their sort of shotgun blast from the back lines. I like that. I like that very much. I would hate to waste the ability. And I imagine they can't hit them, like the unit can't hit itself with that. I don't think a unit can damage itself with its own range attacks, only another friendly unit. Anyway, looks like the balance of power has now shifted in our favor, and Grommy has realized that's a major issue and is heading down to lead the rest of his forces. He'll just miss a sandstorm as it comes down through the rest of his forces. But it'll heavily damage everybody who's behind him. Plus, it'll separate him from the rest of his forces, and while he will be able to join the fray, this is probably not a place he wants to be. Surrounded now by Venom Knights and Necropolis Knights, as well as the Sphinx of Usek, hit by the Spirit Leech and briefly the Usurian's Incantation of Vengeance, two damaging effects. Although the speed clearly didn't slow him down much, he's been caught and he will be destroyed here without too much trouble. Alright, and it looks like the battle is definitely going in our way now, or going our way now, rather. Gobbo's being absolutely obliterated by the combination of Construct and Tomb Guard. Even if they are Grom's Gobbos, and should be significantly more powerful than the regular variety. Ooh, looks like we do get hit with a Gaze of Mork from the Orc Shaman here. We'll have to try to chase him down lest he do so again. Khatep has even moved into melee. He doesn't have the Sword of Cain anymore, but well, he can still make some decent hits in melee if he's not threatened. 544 melee attack. Certainly not much compared to what he had before, but it is on a casket after all. This thing's not supposed to fight in melee. In fact, actually, speaking of the caskets and fighting in melee, the caskets are supposed to have a sort of unique guard unit to them. I forgot what they're called. It's something like it's probably like Casket Guard or something like that. Like every single casket has units of guards that are specifically devoted to guarding the Lich Priest and the casket. And it's interesting that they never added them to they added them to caskets in Total War. Maybe it's because it's difficult to have them attack separately. I mean, think about the issues with the sort of dwarfen units, the Thorgrim and such. But it would have been nice, especially as it would allow the caskets to fight in melee as well, considering how fragile, how expensive, and how rare of a unit they are, but also how critical they are to Tomb King armies. Anyway, Purple Son of Zareus moves through some of the enemy units there, doing probably at least a little bit of damage. And back here, by the looks of it, Grommy is pretty much done, and will cast a few more spells as well. Another Skull Storm from Khatep, followed by a regular Sandstorm, and a Banishment as well. Triple Vortex right in this blob. It's gonna be ugly for the remnants of the enemy forces. There is a lot of magics available to this particular army. It has close to 200, I believe. And we can just cast vortexes for days. Alright, and any units that move past the vortex do get hit with those shotgun blasts from these Popal Stalkers, who have enough height to fire just over the Tomb Guard and thus not threaten them. Fate of Biuna is yet again used on those Black Orcs, and I do believe Grom has fallen, chased down wherever he was. Balance of power is at about 80% now, in our favor, obviously. And a few more hits will see this particular army, I'm sure, out. Or a few more units destroyed. Here comes the Sphinx, or rather of Usek, actually just out of curiosity. That's got 22 kills. Not all that crazy, but it's been specifically focusing down the enemy lord and heroes and trolls. And besides, it's a Necrosphinx that's supposed to kill off single entities and monstrous infantry and the like, not units with tons and tons of models. Not that it's doing too bad, it just racked up another 12 kills to its name. Alrighty, last of the Black Orcs, I believe, are routing. The Biggins that were helping them out are pretty much in bad shape as well. There are some new stone trolls that have arrived here, but, well, we'll see if they can do anything. As the enemy is mobbing us, we'll pop the Neru's Incantation of Protection and the Faw's Incantation as well, giving us 44 physical resistance, 42 melee defense, and 21 damage resistance. Similar to the vampire counts, if you want to sort of blob up your units with the Tomb Kings, it does work very well if you're spamming those two relatively low cooldown spells on the entire blob. At the very least against non-demonic units who have magical resistance to go through all that protection, it's really difficult to do anything. Obviously, it would be better to sort of stagger them, use one, wait until it runs out, and then use the other, but this battle is pretty much over, so we might as well just prevent ourselves from taking any further damage. Another Skull Storm comes in. Will Khatep ever stop with these? The answer is obviously no. Though I am impressed that the orcs still actually holding, considering the losses they've taken, and the losses we, conversely, have not. Alright, and everybody moving forward once again. Looks like this unit of Orc Biggins has broken. The Stone Trolls have broken as well. Some Orc Boar Boys have charged on in, and, well, there's at least a few enemy units left in the enemy army. Alright, well, let's see how much longer they can hold. And though if any of the units are gobos, I fear that they won't have the capabilities to be here for long. Man, what is this like foggy effect? Does anybody know? Which doesn't interfere so much, like it's constantly all over everything, just hiding all the units. I can't tell, is this happening on our units or on the enemy? No, it looks like it's happening on the enemy units. What are they affected by? Oh, they're affected by a million things. Could be poison. But why would poison look like that? Maybe the leadership reduction? Blood roar? Something. It's something. I guess it doesn't matter, however, as the enemy army will shatter and the battle will be ours, but I do think that CA and modders alike need to consider, you know, not having all those crazy effects all over the place. The draw, or one of the major draws of this particular game, is the glorious spectacle. Why hide the spectacle? Anyway. Alright, there we go. Hardly surprising, but still always impressive to see nearly 1,000 kills and 150,000 damage on Khatep. Just tons and tons of magics coming in, basically. And we got a little bit of work from our other two casters in this particular battle as well, 13 and 23k, primarily from Banishment and Spirit Leech as well, but obviously Khatep took the lion's share of the kills and damage. We got lots of damage on the Venom Knights of Asa, but that's hardly surprising with their debuff ability. Lots of our damage came from the Coffin Dead at 63k as well. Tomb Guard held the enemy back, but, well, we don't expect them to do damage. They are just supposed to hold the line. Alright. With that, we're going to, I guess, occupy the places we intend to trade it away. At Charnel Valley Necrotect again, we have like a million of those. We got to keep the Bordeleaux Harbor. I wonder, does the, I mean, it's great, but I mean, we really don't care about territory all the way back here. I'm just wondering whether the Morso Valley Vineyards, I mean, it'll only take one turn to build. All right, now we're gonna build this. I'm curious about this. So, Bordeleaux is currently worth 98.1. How much will it be worth with the Morso Valley Vineyards, and how much will it be worth with a military structure? 98.1. I hope I can remember that number. I'm not so sure, but anyway. Let's see if there's any diplo to do. It feels like I didn't check it this episode. Oh. Sylvania's nearly ready for a non-aggression pact now. Still at minus 80 though, but minus 50 aversion. It hurts. It does hurt. Ooh, Miao Ying. She is in trouble. That's not great. 4 settlements. But we're a little bit too far from her right now to do anything about it, so not much about it. Broken Axe want to peace out, and that's probably good. I actually wanted to peace out with them to join war against Kuhan, so that we didn't draw the Empire into the fighting with us. And it's not that I really care about the Empire. I was originally thinking about vassalizing them, but if Vlad is the way to go, then Vlad is the way to go. I know thematically and in terms of synergy of units, obviously the dead units would be much superior, but Vlad is not going to like the fact that we're killing off Kemmler if we attack him, but more likely than not he'll declare war on us because of the Holy Vrest thing and potentially the Bretonia thing. Yeah, maybe vassalizing Bretonia isn't even or really a possibility. How do the elves feel about the... Oh, wow, the Skaven don't like us. Yeah, they're probably going to declare war on us, too. Fortunately, we don't really hold any territory out here, other than this, and they'd have to probably declare war on the elves in order to try to go for this. I'm also hoping... Does anybody know, did they ever fix the broken aspect of the buildings traded to allies? Or not buildings, settlements traded to allies? Because we traded Lothern to this guy, and we see that there's nothing being built there at the current time. He's suffering sandstorm attrition. Why are there sandstorms in his territory? Wait, are you telling me sandstorm? No, there's no sandstorm in this. Oh, maybe it's just still going from back when we shared territory. There really shouldn't be sandstorm attrition in our allies' territory. It's kind of screwing them over. But anyway, I'm really hoping that Eltharion can actually build the territories up, rather than just having to leave them as they are, because if that's still broken, it makes vassals kind of meh. I mean, for the Tomb Kings was one of the rare factions where they get tribute. Vassals are still good, but it means for many other factions, including those factions built around vassals like Nakari, it would make them kind of garbage. But anyway, let's see what we got here. You still don't have Earthing, but frankly, I've never seen you miscast ever since you've leveled up, like, not even once. We don't have Canopic Jar Hoarder, the only character where I didn't spam this, but that's because we don't know whether we'd have enough, remaining. I think we're going to have to go with Revered Stonemasonry here. Here's the thing. We will not be getting Higher Titans for a while, but we can get some Ushabti, both with Great Bow and regular ones, or at least a few of them in Khatep's army, especially since he has Geheb, God of Earth. He's already buffing them, he's already devoted to the gods, or specifically the Ushabti buffing god, and he doesn't have the choice of picking another one, so gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, and that's for Khatep, and I believe that is it. We get a little bit more money, but probably not enough to actually build any of the things we want to build here. I think next turn we'll probably start from the bottom so that we can actually build up a few places. Like Hag Grief, we actually really like this Mines of Hag Grief landmark. But anyway, let's build a reasonably cheap Fated Pyramid in here. We want to build another one here in Hag Grief, but we can't afford it, or at the very least we can't... the public order here is almost fixed though. We don't have enough of the growth. But anyway, the growth is growing. We're growing the growth. That's what we're doing. White Tower of Hoeth is fine. You know what, I guess we could just save the rest of the money, because I don't remember where we were in the order. Yeah, just save the rest of the money for next turn. Skip unassigned skill points. Skip hero not moved. That's just Noctom Hut, who's fine. Building upgrades and... End the turn. I really want to see where this guy goes. End turn. Where are you going to go, Uzul? You're gonna take Karkaldra? Frankly, I'd prefer it if you would raise it or occupy it so that we could take it back from you. And not have to somehow trade it from the Wood Elves, because it's kind of a hassle, but we'll see. Alright, come on. I don't remember where you are in the order, and you are going to sit there because you don't know what to do. Ah, well, that's a bit of a shame, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? The Blooded Axe tribe, hopefully not anywhere near us. It's kind of near us, actually. But not so near us that we care. Oh! I am so sick of these little rogue armies appearing in our territory. And why do I feel like they always appear in the player's territory? Anyway, Khatep, I wanted you to grab this Middle Sea Fell cargo, but I think we're gonna have to forego it in favor of killing off this and moving here to Grisguts, and then moving back up to Kuran. Certainly a circuitous route, but whatever. Maybe Sophie Crookshank will attack us in the field. He's got a great stack, so it would be a fun fight. And will probably be damaged from auto-resolving this. Yeah, there we go. Certainly a possibility for sloppy. So that should get go. Anyway, you 1710. It's a decent amount of cash. I'm tempted by the movement range. Yeah, forego the jars and take the money. It's so weird needing money. Anyway, enemy killed in battle, at least in for Tomb Kings. Talisman of Preservation. I think we can't put Khatep in March Stance, can we? Because then Sloppy Crookshanks will attack him in March Stance, and that I don't think we should risk. We should, however, go to the Middle Sea where we will heal next turn. There we go, heal to full. Sloppy, you've got one shot at it. 98.1 up to 170.5. Okay. Buddy likes the Morceau Valley Vineyards. That's what I'm getting from. So landmarks are in fact worth more than military structures. That's good to know. It's good to know for the future. Now, what we need to do is not lose Bordeleaux and potentially take Kurun and then try to peace out with him and then try to... Huh. The heck? Is there an army here that we can't see? Oh, Scout Man, can you see this? Go here. Come here. I want to know what's going on.
As you wish.
That's so bizarre. I didn't want to move Anwar there. There might be somebody who's on the land. Because look, they're.
Chosen of Isha.
I guess there's somebody standing right here, not in the water. Okay, we'll leave the elves to deal with it. Just leave it alone. Shakara, I wonder where you're going. Since she canceled our agreement, most likely we have to kill her off, but probably not one of these armies. It's a shame, because I wanted the Medusa building, but I'm going to assume that Harganeth will build one, or I'm going to hope that she will. She does at least have the Charybdis and Warhydra and Manticore building. I don't really care for the Cold One Knights. At least not in terms of synergy with our own troops. Just got to give her some good stuff. Frankly, wait. Damn, it's here. I was thinking if we take this and transfer this, maybe we can still get Harganeth to build it for us. I just want the snakes for the snake army. Blood for the blood god, snakes for the snake army. You know, it's all the same stuff. Rehobi, go kill this. He's going to run. He will run just far enough to... Nope, not escape us. So we'll move King Roprafas right here. Right here. Then we'll attack you. Like so. And that'll resolve it. Nobody will die. Nobody will die. Cross, I should have saved. No, we're fine. We still get just horrifically damaged for no reason whatsoever, but whatever. And we'll take the money again. Missed out on like 200 jars worth because of taking all this money. Chaos Breaker, that's fine. Remember enough, you are pushing towards Welch here, and you're going to go into Entomb Beneath the Sand so that you don't suffer attrition and hit it next turn. Mesh up, stay right here, and King Intef, go this way, very slightly this way. I'm going to go this way just in case this guy decides to run away. But we should still be able to get a battle at Ironfrost. We should also trade these units around, but frankly I'd rather do it between the episodes because it's gonna be me thinking for ages who has to get what. Actually, it depends on whether we can get another battle going. Now, we're back to King Anwar, right? We could just have him take along Guy, but the thing is it doesn't have the building here that we need for recruitment, or we could go to Mistnar and start recruiting with him. I really preferred if Khatep didn't have to do everything for everybody. We could also... we could send you to kill off Grizzguts, and yeah, maybe we'll do that. Send him to kill off Grizzguts, at least that way we won't have to have Khatep do it. And I know that we're going to trade these territories away, but nonetheless. And then once he's actually done his retrofit, we can send him up north to take Conquata, maybe, depending on if Bellicor is back. Also, Avalorn, I would like you to have Alicia. That's good enough. Thick. And the idea was to essentially divide the donut in half between these two factions. It's sort of working. Are you rich enough to take Volzandel now? Not really. 3.4k. And we'll have to wait on those. It's still a decent amount of money, and it is kind of... do we care? I don't think we care. Just take it. Just take it. Enjoy. Have fun. Volzandel. Go for it. He'd eventually probably get more cash, but... yeah. Let him enjoy himself. Slaaneshi giggle. Well, you have to increase the number of Slaaneshi giggles now that poor Nakari is gone. King Roprafas, I forgot about you. We can't keep you in attrition-y stance. We still have to deal with Harkaldra. Oh, great, they built a building here. Now this place is going to be more expensive. That's 7.8. It went from 2.4 to 7.8, but if we trade them some stuff up here, we should do it. It's not like we really care about these territories. In fact, just out of curiosity, would you take Glacier Encampment through Dagrak's End? Glacier Encampment? Yeah, you would. You're fine. You're fine. Frankly, this territory would probably be pretty good for us. If we could trade them something like up here, like the Palace of Ruin and the Glacial Gardens, that would be ideal. Because then we have all of this, and then we can have the Wood Elves moving up here, and then the Dark Elves moving up here, and everything will be fine. And the elves will be working together, at least until somebody gets upsetty about the whole situation. You're able to global recruit still, meaning I would like to do it, but you have no space. I can get rid of the King Nakesh's Scorpion Legion again. I feel bad, but I want the green skulls back, so sorry, Nakesh. I keep screwing you over like this, man, but whatever. Alright, and do that. I can't wait to build these special Tomb Guard, anyway. Anyway, we still have a little bit of time remaining, which does mean we probably should be trading some stuff off. Or we could wait until all 4 armies are together. Wait, are you two supposed to trade anything? Let me just see if I can remember. So you are supposed to get... Oh, you're supposed to get like all of these guys. Damn. Okay, wait, let me just... Okay, let's try this. You are supposed to get... You're supposed to get the Azray Dancers, aren't you, Rehobi? You're not supposed to have the Spokal Stalkers or the Chariots. Skeleton... Okay, these two can be swapped. Then... You're supposed to have the Golden Host of Mahrak, which is these 4, and the regular Nehekar Warriors, plus the Assyrians Legion of the Netherworld, but we haven't had time to deal with that. 1, 2, 3, 4 of these Nehekar Riders. These are supposed to be swapped for the Azrai War Dancers, but we... I mean, I guess we could swap them now. You don't need the Ushabti with... Great Bow. Frankly, you don't need the Mages either, and I think you have 1 hero too many. This is why I wanted to do this between the episodes. This is going to get very confusing. Wait, 22 out of 20 and 20 out of 20? You're lying. Why are you lying, game? Look. This is actually 18 out of 20, but the game is being a liar. What the heck? Game. I'm confused enough without you adding to this. I guess take the Ushabti, leaving you with some Tomb Guard and some artillery pieces. We're gonna have to trade again. You know what I should have done? I should have popped you into Tomb Beneath the Sands first before doing that. Cancel exchange. And Tomb Beneath the Sands. Then trade. Golden Host of Mahrak, all of you, and you two. And take the Ushabti, which will sadly make the army weaker. And then take the Chariots. We got 4 more, eh? And I guess take these 4. Alright. We'll move all 4 armies together so that I can hopefully alleviate some of this confusion. And you will now suffer attrition, but there's nothing we can do about it. Alright, good enough for now. And... Wait, did I do that backwards? No, I didn't. We're fine, we're fine. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. You're also supposed to have the Legion of Ksar and... Yeah, okay. And that's enough of that. Alright. Building, and then the next turn we'll see if we can't get another fight going or whatever. Titan Peaks, you are supposed to switch to Worship of Construction Reduction. Then we will build up the Marble Monolith and the last... Oh wow, you're expensive. You know, we could wait until next turn to do that with the Construction Reduction. Frankly, I'm kind of tempted to do the same thing here. Oh, the public order will be horrendous. We'll have to uncollect the income for a turn, and this is where most of our money is coming from, but I don't see how we can escape that right now, so it is what it is. And we'll also need to get rid of, I guess, this growth building and replace it with a Pyramidion. Or this one, it doesn't really matter. Alright, River Brienne, you are good as you are, and you are worth a lot. Torquerolli and Missnar, you're fine. Great Ocean, you're fine. Scarpul's Lair, and whatever this thing is, the terrible expense. You are going to get the Faded Pyramidion. You're fine, you're fine. We now get rid of this growth building and then build another growth building there. Alright, you're almost ready to switch. And, oh. It reordered itself again, because it'll do that. Wait, was that Ashen Coast into Titan Peaks? Did I already do Titan Peaks? I think I did. This was just too expensive, so we're waiting on it. I really wish that the order wouldn't constantly switch around. It's very confusing. What can you do? Altar of Ultimate Darkness, you are going up to Marble Monolith, and we will be ignoring this, at least until you're at Tier 3. You can be built up to next level, or we could just build up this one, and then, let's do that. And then at least we can build these at the same time. Rest of that is good. Iron Foothills, you're fine. Keep on growing? Actually, no. Go for Worship Fast F. We need Public Order so we can reduce the time it takes to build things. Shroktak Mount, go for it. And keep up the Public Order. Plain of Dogs. Max out the Royal Barracks. This is done, meaning you're ready to switch back to SF. And also collect in... Oh my lord, minus 11. Okay, it's not worth it. It's not worth the 500, let's face it. Alright, Clarkarond. I believe you are going to not go for furs. That would have been nice, but... Alright, build a basic growth building here. Build a Pyramidion here. Like so, and then we'll build the growth building here. Lone column. And stay everything else is fine. Well, I guess we need to get rid of this growth building now to build the other growth building. Okay. Growth and research, people. Growth and research. It's not just growth. Golden Age Monument for you. I said I was going to start from the bottom this time, and then I didn't. I lied. I'm a dirty liar. You switch back to Worship of SF and then collect the income. Minus 11. You're at what? Yeah, you're fine. I actually don't know. What'll activate for... Oh, the negative will activate before the worship, won't it? Meaning we'll lose the 11 and then we'll start gaining... Oh no, we'll still actually start losing minus 2 per turn. Okay, fine, do that. I'll deal with you afterwards. Oh, Safari. Okay, you were build-upable. Let's go for the Crumbling Temple here. Temple? Then build up the Crumbling Temple here. And these are going to take 4 turns, it's going to take 3 turns, so you can go back into Worship of SF, because otherwise it's going to take too long to build anything. This is also a Tier 4 landmark, so we should actually be able to have access to it fairly soon. Spite Peaks and Grand. Immediately go up to the next tier. And you can do the same. Without reductions. And we'll probably go for basic Public Order here, at least to start off, because... And we just need the Public Order more so that it doesn't take so long to build, so that's fine. Hag Grief, we need a Pyramidion here as well, and here. Is there anything else that we needed here? I don't think so. Alright, go for the cheap Pyramidion here, and then we'll do the same thing here afterwards as well. Once we have the cash, and we'll delete the Public Order building after. Iron Frost Glacier, Dagrak Center, probably going to trade you to the Wood Elves, and Black Creek Spire and Slayer's Point. I doubt that the vassalization of this guy is going to work, or these guys is going to work, but we shall see. Alright, the rest of that looks good to me. So, assuming that there's no Diplo to do, damn you beast catchers. Northern Provinces, peace with the Legion of the Gore Queen, not unless you will, well, no, we wouldn't even want her to be our vassals, because then everyone's going to hate everybody else. Just like real life, but anyway, let's... Building upgrade available here, non-moved end turn. Alright, let's see if we can get one more battle going at least. I'll do the next set of sort of admin stuff between the episodes. Ooh, maybe we can knock out Welch and the Hmong for good. We've been itching to do that after all, so that we don't have to be wasting our time in the Chaos Wastes anymore and can start moving southward. We'll probably leave one army up here to sort of, you know, destroy Northern Chaos Waste stuff. Did I say Southern Chaos Waste? Northern Chaos Waste stuff. Magic Unleashed. Chance of wins and magic increasing? Sure, thank you. He is not gonna run. Romarinov, you just got yourself a fight, good sir. You will enjoy yourself. Let us... and we got back 5 out of these 6 green skulls, plus a little bit more action for those war dancers, which are always fun to watch. Let's see, Iron Frost got solid defenses. Let's level everybody up and then sit on in. Alright, so what are you missing? We were going through ancient caches, not that it really does anything for us, we just want the air command, which is still the case. I mean, in this particular army, I think, assuming that Romarinov will hold on to it, and he will, because the Green Skulls are always going to be taking damage, Heir of the Chariot King's character leadership effect is probably worth more than any of the other things. You, Necrotect, could use a little bit more increased mobility. And I think that's what we'll do. We can always also pick one of these afterwards. Increase mobility, good for you. Alright, and here we go. One more for... almost made one of the heroes leave the army for that. Go. And what do we have here? Pyrrhic victory, casualties high. That's always what I like to see. Remarinef, good luck, sir. Alrighty, and damn, just as we start the battle, the Norskins immediately use their sort of spear barrage bombardment ability, whatever it's called. I didn't realize that they could use this immediately upon starting the battle off. Oh, this poor guy lost one of his arms. Yeah, I thought that there would be a cooldown, but oh well, good for the enemy, doing a teensy bit of damage to us, and actually doing a little bit of damage to the Scorpion as well. Go figure. But anyway, it looks like we're having just big battles in this particular episode, and another big battle to come will be this one. We do have a fairly good position ourselves here, as we do have impassable terrain on one of our flanks and range superiority, as that's what the Krokagar Legion is for. They're not going to be quite as good as the sort of SF version of the skeleton archers, but they'll be fine. Plus, we got to get them to do fire damage, and fire damage they do. It'd be really nice if we could get some salamanders in here. For now, however, it looks like the enemy will move forward with a pile of marauder horses. They'll do a little bit of damage, but they are relatively vulnerable to missile fire and will get brought down rather quick. They're supposed to skirmish, and the AI doesn't really understand that. Direct shootout with the enemy archers will never, ever favor them. Same thing happening on the left flank, though we have less units of archers here. We are firing the Ushabti with great bow at the enemy instead. And it should be just as effective at bringing the horses down, especially if it manages to travel through several of the enemy units. First of the enemy horsemen will book it on out of there, and we'll simply change targets to the second one. And we're also repositioning our Azure war dancers with Azure spears. Got to love that speed thing that they've got. Woven Mist, 78 move speed. The ability to reposition them so quick is just great. We're not actually looking to engage into combat these guys, more or less just to annoy them, as engaging direct combat would probably be in danger of hurting our own units with missile fire. So we'll see them off, and then we'll get right back into the trees. Looks like the enemy Manticore has landed out here, but we'll start shooting it with our Shabti with great bow. While the Green Skulls should be able to decently well hold off the enemy Warhounds, will nonetheless, just in case, pop a Nerus on them, especially as they've lost about half of their HP. They're still a fragile unit, but at the end of the day, they do help us activate that Realm of Souls in this particular army, which just seems so difficult in all the others. Anyway, here come the enemy marauders rushing forward. The spear wielder is going to be the target of our range units, as they've no shields to rely upon, and thus will hit us. And thus will get hit, rather, pretty hard. The enemy, however, will activate their second or third, I don't remember, barrage of spears. And we'll do a fairly decent amount of damage to our unit. And we are going to do a little bit of area denial, as we like to do with that Skullstorm, which hits the enemy, while the range shootout begins, and we target the darn enemy Marauder Hunters with javelins. Can't have those guys killing off our Tomb Scorpions, and from those watching the Wolfra campaign, and we well know just how quickly those guys can obliterate any individual large entity. Alright, and now it's good old-fashioned Marauder versus Skeletal Warrior action. The enemy's great weapons are at least being rather wasted, and our Azure War Dancers are in the middle of the fray as well, though ready to reposition themselves as needed when needed. And the armor sundering that they're doing, even though the armor on these guys is relatively low, is also going to combine with the Searing Flame, at least for now, and basically make these guys unarmored, and thus quite vulnerable to both the Green Skulls and the Skeletal Archers. And you gotta admit, the Krokagar Legion do look pretty darn cool. Alrighty, how are we doing otherwise? Looks like the battle is very much going in our favor now. Another Skullstorm will rip a unit of Marauder Berserkers apart completely, and our line is now starting to shift, moving forward as the enemy army starts moving back. Scorpions continue pinching away at whatever the Marauders are attempting to attack. Wait, no. That made no sense. They're just pinching the enemy. That's what they do. Anyway, with the battle just about to be ours, the Marauder Chieftain still fighting, but it looks like we'll be able to rout his force rather than bother to need to destroy him. And let's see, our Azrai War Dancers are chasing, well, one of them is just chasing down the enemy back there, the other one is just sort of interspersed among our troops. Because their numbers are so small compared to the just massive numbers of skeletal warriors, it's kind of hard to catch sight of them. But they also just reposition them constantly where they're needed, so it still works very nicely. And, ooh, the Tomb Scorpion can actually keep pace with them. I bet they're happy about that. A decent combination there. Anyway, with that, the enemy army will shatter and the battle will be ours. Certainly took a little bit of damage on a couple of those units of green skulls. Definitely have to be wary of losing them again, but all good for now, especially since we can now re-recruit them via global recruitment at only a single turn. Their losses mean a lot less than they once did. Alrighty, a pretty darn good fight there. I've been really happy with the performance of the Azrai War Dancers as well. I mean, they've always been a good unit, but the Spear Wielders in particular, because of their ability to increase their movement speed up to cavalry speeds, allows you to reposition themselves reposition them rather, at the drop of a hat. They can chase enemies down, they can armor sunder where you need, they can hold the line, they can go after an enemy lord or a single entity or cavalry that breaks your back line. It's quite needed for this army, which is otherwise going to be relatively fragile because the Krokagar Legion and the Green Skulls, those special variants, are still basic units, and thus the Azrai War Dancers will be really great here. And, well, actually were really great here. They're going to be transferred to another army, but nonetheless, this army will get more powerful because of Hyro Titans and other things. I actually no longer remember what I wanted to put in here other than the Hyro Titans. I mean, I guess we can keep the Ushabti with Great Bow. We just need to, I guess, well, you will be replaced with another one of the Green Skulls, and then we can maybe get a casket in here instead of you. I think that'll be a significant power-up for the army as well. I mean, a casket will power up any army, so, you know, makes sense. Anyway, actually, where was I? I was going to put these within the Hekara Warriors because they don't have armor sundering, so yeah. This army will at least have the Ushabti and the Hyro Titans and range units to rely upon for armor piercing, and the Nehekar Warriors don't have range or won't have range in their army. Which makes sense. Plus they're, yeah, alright. I'm just trying to remember the idea for all of these. Anyway, we're going to occupy the place. As we do, Heralds of Ariel mission successful as well, which will hopefully enable us to build more. Oh, actually, wait. That probably, by virtue of reducing the proximity, will make these guys more expensive. They might have been, were they like 40-something before? Either way, we still want to build them up. Storm of Necromancy, and the world did tremble, and indeed it has. Well, there we go, folks. With that, I do believe we are out of time. Yeah, certainly not enough time to move everybody else around and do the building and all that. We don't have as much money as I would have liked, so we're going to have to forego it for a turn. And Helebron, no, take Dargoth. What are you doing, please? Okay, we're going to have to tell her to take Dargoth. We don't want Dargoth for ourselves, and no, we don't. Valkia's just gonna rebuild her army, and then you're gonna get screwed over, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to sail away from territories that are bordering you, and leave a threat, and instead going to try to go for Citadel of Lead for absolutely no reason at all. Oh, AI, you are so wacky. Anyway, I'm gonna call the episode here. Next time. Oh, I don't like that. Man, all of these little rogue armies and these little random pop-up armies are going to have to kill you off with Khatep because I fear that you're going to go for Bordeleaux if we don't. But it is what it is. Anyway, next time we can Khatep up to Kuhan and occupy it and do what we need to do to get the book. Somebody, I believe, said that this sort of manufactures conflict as it kind of forces you to occupy the settlements of a bunch of factions, but it is what it is, and at least it gives us a goal for this campaign, other than going to Nehek. And to be fair, the last book is in Nehek anyway, so a triumphant return with these relics seems quite appropriate. Anyway, more Khatep to come, at least for now, or at least for now on this channel. We may have to switch it soon, but we'll see how the engagement goes as we proceed. So don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.